Are you an Australian employer looking to sponsor someone for your business? This video is helpful for you. Hi all, this is Kaushal here from Professional Visa and Education Services again, and I'm here with the specific topic in regards to the sponsorship visa application. Now, usually I do cover a whole visa, but in this topic, I'm covering one component of sponsorship visa, especially in regards to subclass 482 and some component of subclass 186. Now, this video could be helpful for a lot of employer or sponsor who is looking to nominate a skilled employees in order to get the sponsorship visa and looking to retain them in their business here in Australia for the purpose of subclass 482 or 186. First of all, whenever the sponsorship visa topic comes into play, what we usually do and what conversation we usually have in the initial phases, we quickly check the eligibility requirement for the business, but more than that, we will always have a confusion and a doubts when it comes to labor market testing. So this video is specifically in regards to labor market testing. Firstly, I just wanted to give a brief introduction about what labor market testing is and what is why it is actually required. Labor market testing, this shows the Department of Home Affairs that an Australian employer genuinely tried to recruit suitable, qualified, Australian citizen or permanent residency holder before moving ahead with the sponsorship with an overseas applicant. So before they give the priority to the offshore applicant or the migrants or skilled worker, their target is that the employer has actually given priority to Australian citizen or permanent residency holder. Now, in order to showcase that you have been through this approach, we usually recommend a employer to have a job advertisement post in public platforms. So it could be Seek, Indeed, Career One. You could use different sort of platforms, but there are specific legislation when it comes to it. Now, when we recommend this to an employer, it always comes to a confusion stating that, well, example, if someone is already working with them and they're planning to nominate that particular person, they'll be like, what's the whole point of advertising the position while the person is already working with you? Now, I know it is quite confusing for a lot of you, but the whole perspective why the government wants to see that you have had completed this task specifically of job advertisement is that you put the job advertisement or vacancy for that nominated position that you're looking to sponsor and try to go locally to find the Australian citizen or permanent residency holder that could potentially substitute the position. Now, it's not mandatory that you could find someone. So the basic understanding here is you post the job advertisement, you go through their resumes and then try to tally it up. If you find any other suitable candidates, then the person that you're going to actually nominate. Now, when we post that job ad, there is a specific requirements of 28 days to be advertised for. So whenever we start with any sponsorship visa, I essentially say this to all of our clients, especially the employers who is looking to sponsor, to post the job advertisement as the first component. So while those 4 weeks are getting counted, we could work on other documentation of the business and as for the applicant as well. So by the time things could come handy and we can get the application lost. So in terms of labor market testing, job advertisement is actually just one component in order to prove it, but also we do have to go through the rigorous process and explain. We usually put the statement and explanation of how we conducted the labor market testing and what is the salary offered to this person, whether they have met the TISMET requirement or not. But the moral of the story here is we always recommend our applicants, even there are certain situations where the exemption does apply. So there are certain occupations and certain criteria under, if your country falls under ITO and your occupation falls under there, you are actually exempted for ELMT on those case by case basis. But if we have adequate time, in order to even support, this always helps you towards proving a genuine position that you're going to nominate for the sponsorship visa. We always recommend all of our employer, especially who is looking to sponsor people, to go through this process. Now, similar to 482, when it comes to 186 permanent visa, there are two different categories on two different streams actually on 186. One is direct entry, the other one is transitional stream. Now, transitional stream will not require you to go through this job advertisement hassle at all, because it's quite evident that the person's been working with the same business from last 2 years, and that's a right fit, which is why you're transiting this person towards a permanent visa of 186. So we don't usually follow the job advertisement component when it comes to 186. When it comes to a 186 transitional stream, now, but when it comes to 186 direct entry pathway, if you are an employer and looking to sponsor someone directly towards the permanent residency based on their skills, based on their qualification, and if they qualify under your remit, then there isn't specifically labor market testing requirement at all, the legislative requirement. However, there is a genuine position requirement that you do have to satisfy. Now, this is the inquiries that I do get a lot by even the nominee and even sometimes from the sponsor saying, well, the legislation doesn't specifically states about the labor market testing or the nomination requirement. Why do we really need to carry this out? Because this is just going to take more time and extra cost that's involved. But here's our recommendation. If you have an adequate time, which is 4 weeks, and I think a lot of people who looks into this space, they always start their process about a couple of months before. So usually most of these people come with this time period. Now, we do not compromise on this part element, and none of the other majority of the migration lawyers, they do follow the same processes as well, and we do talk about this a lot of time in the forums. They all say their perspective, saying even though that's not a requirement, it does helps a lot to showcase and to back up for the genuine position within the business, and the business tried going extra miles trying to find the substitute right fit within the organization. So while it's a mandatory requirement unless for some certain exemption on 482, it's not a mandatory requirement on 186. But though it's not a mandatory requirement, to strengthen, to make your application more strong and to make your case file more stronger, basically for the business point of perspective, we always recommend you to follow the process of job advertisement. Now, I know this could be confusing for a lot of people because you might have to go through the interviews, this, that, but the moral story here is you go through, you check the applicant's profile, and if you really don't find any right fit, we'll put that on the statement, we'll explain that to the immigration, and we'll prove that through. So I hope this short video about labor market testing does helps a lot of employer out there looking to sponsor overseas worker who is looking to migrate to Australia temporarily or permanently. And if you are someone who is looking towards, you're looking to sponsor someone and you need the assistance for it, you can contact our office in Sydney, Melbourne, or Canberra. We have our registered migration agent or migration lawyers also available if you need the assistance in regards to any sort of sponsorship visa assistance, which we can provide to you. So in future, I will come with more videos, but I hope these short videos was helpful for you in terms of understanding labor market testing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll come with more videos in future.